yeah, what are the challenges of being a parent as a YouTuber? That's something that I've never discussed with someone before, and it kind of just
Mm,
came up organically now. So like I'm thinking about that,
yeah.
and like yeah, there's you're like in the middle of recording, and then someone screams in the background, and
Oh
that's
God.
I remember I was doing a live on my YouTube, and my daughter was screaming. We were in a different place, and the room was like right next
Yeah.
to my office. So
hmm
screaming, and someone comments like, "Hey, Kris, don't you need to go check on your kid?"
I think we've all. I think if you have kids, we have all been there. We've all seen the video of that one guy that's like on the conference call, and the kid comes in, and the stroller comes in, the mom comes in. I mean, we've all been there. I mean, I don't. Right now, I like my microphone here, but I started off with like a snowball. I don't know how geeky we want to get into like tech stuff. But I started off with like a typical like condenser, all the noise at all times. Like Ubisoft's like a snowball or whatever, the Blue Yeti snowball, which just captures all the noise. It's a good mic, but it just captures everything. And so, but you just gradually you piece things together. I think that's another reason why I do stuff at night because he's asleep. Thank God
Mhm.
he's generally a pretty good sleeper. Um, I think, and also, I mean, my wife's a teacher; she teaches high school, so in some ways, this worked out for us. I think as best as it could. I mean, no one, no one like I think like wants to spend time away from their family doing work. You want to be with your family, but at the same time, I think what we have is the best. When I'm working on video stuff, she's grading or lesson planning, or she's big into chess, so she does like chess stuff, and I work on the videos and things. She has summers off, which is helpful, so then during those times we can spend more time together. But it's a sacrifice because I can't weekends. I'm doing work most of the time, because that's my work day, and then she watches my son. So I think you navigate your schedules. That's what marriage is. I think marriage. I was listening to an interview with Michelle Obama, and one of the things that she mentioned is no marriage is 50-50. It can be 55-45, it could be 60-40, but no marriage is someone's making a sacrifice in some way, and I think this is just the time where I'm sacrificing my work, to make sure we can do things with my son, because I don't know where most of your listeners are from, but if they're not from the US, childcare in the US is super expensive. You're looking at, you know, $1,200 a month for childcare. Is like, oh, that's a good one. We better reserve better reserve that spot. you
Right.
know.
And when I first heard these numbers here, I was like, no, 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 no. Like you have to look somewhere else. And then it turns out that like 800 is an amazing
That's a
find.
that's a really good, yeah. That's a good,
And
yeah. Yeah.
and before that, I never imagined that it would be that expensive, you know?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, even you look at different countries too. I mean, a lot of countries, the expectation is the grandparents will come. You
right.
know, I had some Chinese students, and they had kids, and his parents had come, and then they told his parents right as their kid got to like 4 or 5, they said, "Hey, we're having another kid," and their parents got upset because now they gotta. They moved across country to help them out with the kid. Now they got to be there longer. I mean, I get that. I get that. It's a time commitment.
True. Yeah. The
Um,
cultural difference is big. A lot of the Russians that I know, they like a good percentage of them, their parents came over to help them with the kid when they
yeah,
went through that. And I don't know, I think there's pros and cons to that. Like it's great to have a
yeah,
support team, and especially, the mother has the hardest job here. And so she has to deal with so much. To have that additional support, I think is great. We didn't have that for our first one. And so I saw the great amount of pressure that is put onto the mother with,
yeah.
and then, it's not just her, but like you try to support too, but there's only so much that you can really do.
A lot depends on the age too, right? Because I mean, if they're up to, I forget all the age milestones and things like that. Maybe some repressed memories, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as a dad, like, you wake up and like the kid, needs feeding, and they may not be at that bottle stage, or may not take to a bottle as easily.
Yeah.
So there's only so much I can do, like it kind of has to be the mom in some ways. And even if there is a bottle, in some ways, my wife still need to wake up because she still had the pump, because it gets super uncomfortable, so it's like, so in some ways it's like, no, just give me the baby, because it just makes things easier,
I wonder how many people who watch this are going to be like, those guys don't understand anything about.
Fair, but I think I've actually gotten into like these like deep discussions about like breastfeeding and stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, obviously not qualified
to go into that topic today.
What I will say is that it's super rewarding being a dad who's able to spend as much time with my son as possible, because I know traditionally for most fathers that is just not the reality. Being able to take care of my son, from like 7 a.m. until 5 o'clock in the evening every day is a very tiring experience, but I'm very fortunate to be in that position, and I get that.
Yeah.